Now, a lot of things that we don't think very early on, and especially as a founder, some of these things, sometime we'll think that maybe in future, if had I known, could I have done something different. And not necessarily that what I say or not say, that you have to use it, but just knowing that, like maybe this was one way that at least my journey, that I could learn, that will allowed me to do that 0 to 1 to n. So just building a company, like when we think about it, usually that you start with a nucleus, and nucleus of the company is like literally the founders that you guys we all get inside a room, and we are looking at an idea, working on that idea. And typically we start with some tool systems also. Let's say GitHub is another one, G Suite that you will need. That's the way that you start the company. And what happens is, as we are going and let's say getting some initial seed funding, idea is there, we start hiring more people in the company. And what you see at that point, obviously you can go and add more tools and system. Because I'm doing the engineering development, I'll go and take Jira. If I'm doing like a lot more collaborations in the company, I'm getting Slack and so on. So that's something that we do all the time. But what is one thing that is unique in the company is that every person in the company is responsible for the customer and responsible for the product. Because it's talking the same language. Everybody is talking about product, everybody is talking about the customer. What happens over time is that we do get a few specialists, and that specialist also emerged from the current company, current people also, because they had been part of the company, they kind of understand product, they kind of understand the customers. So think of like there are marketing folks, like growth aspect people start taking, sales job that they start taking, cloud ops work that they start taking from the same set of people. But now as you are bringing more and more customers and the complexity as it increases, that you're going to go and add more specialists at that point, which is pretty natural, right? But what you see, one thing is still everyone is responsible for the product and customers in the company. Complexity actually goes up now, and what happens at that point? That suddenly that we have separated the team into two different factions or two different departments that you can call. I call it front office and back office. Now front office becomes responsible for the customers and the back office becomes responsible for the product. Pretty typical. I mean, either you have seen in your own company, or you have seen in your previous company, or you have seen on all of the existing, or I experienced like the large scale company also, that they will get to that level. Now what happens? Now you're going to go and hire more specialists for the front office. That's typically that will happen. Go to market, I need to hire more people, more specialists in that. More people also in the back office that you hire, because as the business takes off, maybe the product market fit is already established, I need to go and just grow. But with the business growth, the complexity also grows. And what do you do at that point? The further separation of the department starts happening. Now, what you see here is the back office itself can get separated into multiple departments, and the front office also gets separated into multiple departments. I'm just for the simplicity that I'm just calling out one department which is like responsible for building the product, which is like a development organization, engineering organization. Then you start seeing also cloud ops and some of the operations work that they do, that goes on the right side. Then you see customer support, customer success, all of that on the other side, the third side that you see with the red representation. And then you also see like the sales and marketing, like the growth department that starts forming. So these are the four departments, four quadrants that we also call it as part of building the company. Now what you see here is the people who were in the front office, they were responsible for just the customers. Now they're also responsible for the department. Every department has their tools, their systems, and which same thing that you see on the back office also. I was responsible for previously just for the product, but I'm also responsible for the departments now. I'm also responsible for the teams. And that we also hire a lot of people who just go and stitch these departments, communication, collaboration, all of that. Tons of meetings that we do. There are people that we hire in the company who will just ask two questions. Is it done? When will it get done? Is it done? When will it get done? Is it done? When will it get done? Because that is also something that is required. I'm not saying that it is not required in the process, especially with the kind of complexity that comes, and all the tools that you see, systems, because they are all just built for one purpose. They are not really stitching the departments. They don't. Of course, that we try to do as much that we can do to really go and do the automation, get the data from one place to the other place. We do tons of meetings. We hire such people who also stitch these departments, tons of meetings. And now the question is that we also should be thinking hard. Can I do this? Where I started? When I started, every person in the company, they had the idea of the product, they had the idea about the customers. That's where we started. As the complexity grew at scale, that I had to start building those different departments and all. And could I be at the same stage where I started? Can I say that every person inside the company at scale can also be responsible for the product and customers? Or do they even have the data to be able to know that I know about what's happening on the product side or what's happening on the customer side? So front office, can you make them more aware of the product? The back office, can you make them more aware of the customer? Because that distance actually becomes too large to bridge. And this is a challenge that we all have. I mean, first of all, getting to that stage, the 4 quadrant, is extremely fulfilling, by the way. Don't get me wrong. The fact that you got there, you already made it. But also it kind of complexity that it brings in the system, the inefficiency that it brings in the system, the decision making, or let's say the poorness of that comes into it, those are all, I mean, gets in the way of running the business efficiently. And I know that us as a founder, that you'll all also go and relate to, you'll think that, okay, we were able to do so much with 5 people previously. Right now I have 25 people, still I'm not able to get that much. The productivity has not multiplied by 5. It's not even doubled. Maybe I feel that it is slowing us down. And the reason just becomes a large part of that is also, just think about when you bring the 6th person, there is so much that the 5 person that they were able to go and discuss on the product, on the customer side. Everybody was on the same page. You also didn't really keep that history somewhere. It's mostly in the head, or mostly in some documentation somewhere, mostly in the Slack if you like using some kind of collaboration, mostly on the WhatsApp. The 6th person who is coming in has complete like the information asymmetry. What information you have, the 6th person doesn't have. The 7th person, forget it. 10th person and 25th person, they don't even have an idea, any clue about what you used to do, how you were able to go and make the decisions, because you had more information than the people who are coming in, or we are making them accessible with the information. So there's something to ponder upon, how what we do can we really at scale do.